Before social media, before diss tracks went viral, there was a beef so raw, so personal, that it took two legends to the grave. Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace, better known as Biggie Smalls, were once close friends. But the war between them would ignite the deadliest chapter in hip-hop history. In the early 90s, Tupac was the star on the rise, and Biggie was the hungry Brooklyn rapper looking for his shot. They weren't enemies. They were brothers in rhyme. Tupac mentored Biggie, gave him advice, even let him crash at his place when Big was in L.A. But fame, pride, and paranoia don't mix. On November 30th, 1994, everything changed. Tupac walked into Quad Studios in New York and got shot 5 times in the lobby. He survived, but his trust didn't. As he lay in a hospital bed, he believed he'd been set up, and he thought Biggie and Puff Daddy had known. Maybe they didn't pull the trigger, but they didn't warn him either. Then came the music. Biggie released Who Shot Ya?, a haunting track that sounded way too close to home. He claimed it wasn't about Tupac. The Pac didn't buy it. He came back with Hit 'Em Up, a brutal diss where he claimed to have slept with Biggie's wife and called out the entire Bad Boy crew. The track wasn't just a diss. It was a declaration of war. The media ran wild. East Coast versus West Coast. Death Row versus Bad Boy. What started as personal beef became a coast-to-coast conflict. Award shows turned tense. Rappers picked sides. Interviews became battlegrounds. And the streets? They were watching. Then came Las Vegas. September 7th, 1996. Tupac was in town for a Mike Tyson fight. After a scuffle at the MGM Grand, he rode off with Suge Knight in a black BMW. As they hit the Vegas Strip, a white Cadillac pulled up alongside them. Gunfire. Tupac was hit 4 times. 6 days later, he died. He was just 25. Biggie was shaken. He publicly mourned Tupac. He denied any involvement and tried to distance himself from the chaos. But 6 months later, on March 9th, 1997, while leaving a party in Los Angeles, Biggie's SUV was stopped at a red light. A black Chevy Impala pulled up. More gunfire. Biggie was killed instantly. He was only 24. 2 of the greatest voices in hip-hop. Gone. No arrests, no justice. Just grief, silence, and questions. Some say gangs were involved. Others point to record labels. Some even blame the FBI. Theories pile up. But answers still missing. What we do know is this. The Tupac and Biggie beef wasn't just a rap rivalry. It was a storm fueled by pride, pain, betrayal, and media hype. It turned poetry into warfare. And in the end, nobody won. 2 kings fell. The throne was left bloodstained, and hip-hop was never the same again. They weren't just rappers. They were the heartbeat of a generation. When Tupac and Biggie died, hip-hop didn't just lose 2 artists. It lost its soul. Tupac was a revolutionary with a microphone. He didn't just spit bars, he bled on every track. He was fire and fury, pain and poetry. He could go from Brenda's Got a Baby to Hit 'Em Up and make you cry, think, then rage. His voice was a mirror to America, broken, proud, and unafraid. Biggie was the other side of the coin, cool, calculated, slick with his flow. He made street stories sound like scripture. His rhymes were sharp, his delivery effortless. He wasn't just rapping. He was painting vivid pictures of a world most feared to see. Together, they carried hip-hop through its most iconic era. One from the West, one from the East, one a soldier, one a storyteller. Different styles, same truth. When Tupac died, something snapped. The game lost its conscience. No one could match his raw emotion, his revolutionary fire. He spoke for the voiceless. He warned us about the system. He made pain sound powerful. Without him, that fire dimmed. When Biggie died, the streets lost their narrator. He was the balance, raw but refined, brutal but poetic. With Big gone, the East lost its crown. His voice was thunder, his flow a masterclass. Without him, the throne sat empty. What came next was a shift. The soul of hip-hop gave way to something else. Flash replaced feeling. Clout replaced message. The beef that took them both birthed a cautionary silence. Rappers were scared to go too deep, too far, too fast. There were legends after them. The feeling of hearing Pac scream, "I ain't mad at Cha," or Biggie slide on "Sky's the limit." That magic, it died with them. Tupac and Biggie made you believe hip-hop could change the world. They weren't perfect, far from it, but they were real. And that realness? It's rare now, filtered, packaged, sold. Today's rap is louder, faster, flashier, but emptier. Not always, but often. Because somewhere deep down, we're still missing those two voices. Still waiting for someone to say it the way they did. Time moved on. Hip-hop evolved. But the void never filled.